Sydney.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise in support of this motion today because I actually can't help but concur with both my esteemed colleagues from Warringah and Curtin that, without a doubt, this is the single most pressing issue that our 47th Parliament should be leaning into. The reality is, when it comes to our climate debates and our climate discussions, the development of strategy in the area, the only number that matters is 1.5 degrees. We can sit in this chamber and argue about 43% emission reduction. We can sit in this chamber and argue about net zero by 2050. But if we go over 1.5 degrees, which it looks more than likely we are going to, it all becomes about the magnitude over which we go past that number. A report into the first global stocktake for our climate position at the moment has experts predicting that we will likely hit 2.5 degrees Celsius, and that will be the focus of discussions at COP28. We as Australians have to answer the question, what is our role in climate justice, not just for our region but for our planet? Our Pacific nation neighbours are looking to us to help them navigate what the future looks like, and more importantly, to stop contributing to the problems they are facing. I recently had the privilege of meeting with a delegation from Fiji, Mr Deputy Speaker, and the emotion that those people used as they spoke to me about their villages literally disappearing underwater, of seawalls that used to last decades not even lasting 5 years anymore, of 40 villages in the islands of Fiji that now need to be relocated. As a nation, we cannot stick our head in the sand any longer. To the member of Warringah's comments, one of the biggest risks to us here in Australia is the sheer magnitude of the population movement that will take place as societies crumble. Let's be really clear, Mr Deputy Speaker. At the moment here in Australia, we are fortunate to have 3 people living per square kilometre. We have heaps of room for lots of people. On the flip side, in Bangladesh, they have 1,250 people living in every square kilometre, while in Indonesia and Jakarta there are 190 people living in every square kilometre. And it probably goes without saying that Jakarta is disappearing underwater and Indonesia is seeking to move its capital by 2025. There are 3 things we need from our government right now, Mr Deputy Speaker, as Australians. We need transparency around the scale and the risk to our nation. We need an Office of Climate Threat, and we need them to have access to the intelligence that was provided by the Office of National Intelligence. And we need to rebuild climate science and risk analysis in both the public service and the CSIRO. As both the previous speakers have discussed, the thing that is perhaps most distressing and should be most distressing for all Australians is that our allies have no fear in sharing what they know with their country and their citizens. And they're doing that because they are facing into what is required of them as leaders. They are speaking with their residents about what must be done as nations to survive, yet our government continues to leave us in the dark. What I would like to know from our government, and I agree it should be the Defence Minister that's in here today, is the Office of National Intelligence report, the findings of it, consistent with the Chatham House findings from the UK? And if it is, why is that information not being shared with Australians? And what specifically does this government propose to do to prepare us for the challenges we're about to face? Thank you.